Hello and welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be the first and of hopefully quite a few episodes of our autumn training. Not quite winter yet, very much autumn training. I have brought Dusty out for the first video today because quite frankly she's the only one that is in a reasonable bit of work and is quite fit. So Dusty's had quite a busy endurance season, which does mean I have neglected the flat work a little bit. So I've probably only schooled her a handful of times this year, a few of which being over the last couple of weeks. So we are quite rusty. We've got a lot to work on, which we're going to go through today, and then hopefully when you see her next time will be a bit better. I'm using a new setup today, so hopefully it works okay. And we'll see how it goes. So I have only just hopped on. I've had a quick walk round but haven't quite warmed up just yet, but I'm going to warm up slightly differently to how I normally would, purely because I would like to show you where we are. So I would normally do lots and lots of lateral work to warm up, lots of leg yielding, bits of shoulder in, maybe some rein backs, that sort of stuff, but we're going to have a walk, we're going to have a trot, we're going to have a canter both reins, and I'm going to talk through the things that will need work, which is most of it. And then going forward, you know, I'll chat about what we're going to do from there. So let's just pick up the walk a little bit. So you'll probably notice as well as this video goes on, Dusty does have contact issues. She has a very complicated mouth, shall we say. She's got a very small mouth for a start. But also she has some conformational issues in her mouth that just make things a little bit difficult. So when she is a bit excitable and we're having issues with that, the resistance comes out in her mouth. So obviously I want her to be nice and calm majority of the time so that doesn't happen. It's not a reflection on the bit, because when she's chill and she's happy like this, she accepts the contact quite nicely. She's happy with this bit and it fits her well. But when she gets a bit excited, that's when the tension kind of comes out. So it's trying to keep those moments to a minimum so that we're both happy, basically. And that is part of the schooling as well, because the last 6 months she's spent kind of trotting at speed over long distances for, you know, hours on end. So it's a little bit different than coming back in here, but it does need to be done. But she's feeling nice and chill today. She was not the most amenable when I rode her last, but it was raining, it wasn't very nice, it was a bit miserable, and yeah, she was rather wild, but she seems nice and chill today, so that's good. Hopefully we'll have a good session, which would be nice. So while I'm walking around, I'm just trying to get a feeling for that relaxation, which I know we have today, which is nice, but also seeing about little bits of bending. Is she moving away from my leg quietly, which actually she is today, which is nice. She's a lot stiffer on this left side. Nova, please don't go under the tripod. Oi, madam. That'll be fun, won't it? Yeah, she's usually a lot stiffer this left side, and she will be, especially when we get up to trot and then canter. So you can see I'm trying to bend her round, but actually she's just kind of going out through her shoulder. So even whilst we're just walking like this, I'm trying to be picky, I suppose, on, you know, what she's doing and how she's feeling. So when we've got no fence along that long side, she's just drawing through her outside shoulder a bit. So I've got to try and keep her body a little bit straighter with my legs whilst I ask for a little bit more bending. Good girl. And then we'll just have a little walk the other way. Dusty's very easy to push out of her rhythm, especially in the trot. She can trot very, I don't want to say necessarily quickly, but she can cover a lot of ground with her trot, which is why she's reasonably good at the endurance for her size, because she has this massive trot. But we don't really want that in here, and I want her to, ooh, good girl, I want her to stay in balance. So when she's doing that big trot, yes, it's fine in a straight line, but in here, we just don't want anywhere near that. So it's almost retraining her again now of, right, okay, endurance season's done, we've finished that, now we need to be back on sort of sensible pony mode. So I'm just going to test the bending a little bit this way. So I'm just little vibrations on the inside rein, little gives and takes, but supporting with my inside leg kind of at or around the girth. I don't want to push her quarters out by bringing my inside leg too far back. You can see we're getting the walk's getting a little bit choppy now because we know we're going to trot in a minute, and we just had a little spook at the van coming past. Good girl. So I'm just going to throw in some small circles in the corner. Good. Avoiding the silly dog. Hey? Good girl. And yeah, I can feel, you know, she's inconsistent. She's going to be. I can't say she's ever been consistent with her kind of contact and softness. So we pop up into trot. Want to keep her nice and steady because she does have a habit of speeding off, getting a little bit tense, getting a bit upset sometimes, and being in that speedy mode. Good girl. I'm not overly worried about where her head is in terms of outline. I just want her to feel nice and soft in my hand, and then I can bend her around my inside leg without her shooting off. If she wants to stretch forward down, great, but I just want her to feel, yeah, soft and relaxed so that her jaw's relaxed. Good girl. So I do little vibrations, little squeezes down the rein, but then more in moments like that where she braces and she gets a little bit harder in her mouth, and I'm trying to get her to relax her jaw again, not necessarily trying to get her to flex, if that makes sense. The flexion and the softness comes from the fact that her jaw is relaxed. Good girl. So this is a nice rhythm for her actually. She feels quite soft over her back, not choppy. I'll let her have a little bit more rein if she wants it, but I do have to be careful with her because she can chop and change very, very quickly. She's not naughty, but she can just suddenly decide she's going to trot a million miles an hour down this long side. Bless you. So again, like in the walk, just want to add some circles in. I'd ideally like to do it on a bit of a longer rein, but while she's still sneezing, it's not that easy. So we'll do that again. At this stage, I'm not really worried about if the circles are a 20, a 15, a 10 metre circle. They just need to be roughly circle shaped. I'm just kind of using the bend of the circle, come on, to try and help me with her bend. And not just bend in her neck, but bend all the way through. So you can see now she's got a little bit tight. Good girl. But she's keeping the rhythm quite nicely, which is good for her. Because normally when she gets that tightness in her neck, she kind of hollows her back and she'll run. And then it can be quite difficult to get her back on board then. I'm just going to do another circle. So this is all very simple. So this isn't necessarily what I would do to warm up normally, but it's kind of the stuff we need to work on as well. So her being supple and me being able to flex her equally both sides, this is her better rein, I can't remember if I've already said that or not, helps in me being able to straighten her, and vice versa, to be honest. But really, if I can't bend her and move her, it becomes really difficult to straighten her. Good girl. And she does need to also be straight. So here we go again. A bit like in the walk, she struggles to go from right to left because the left side is all a bit tighter. Well, the left rein is tighter. It would actually be her right side that is having to stretch more, and that's what she finds difficult. So you can see here she's backed off a bit, which is unlike her, to be honest. She's normally go, go, go. And I can feel, I don't know what it looks like, that we've lost a little bit of our suppleness, although she's coming back again. I probably should have put the stirrups down again actually, they feel a bit short, but we're okay. Good girl. Not much I can do when she's sneezing, I'm just going to let her sneeze. She does a lot of this. I think some of it is allergies and I think some of it is tension, and it's her letting go of it. Good girl. So again, I'm going to see if I can get her a little bit softer, not necessarily rounder, just softer in my hand so we can bend a bit more. I have to use quite a lot of inside leg this side. Good girl. Good. Good girl. So yeah, all I'm working on at the moment with her really is A, relaxation, then a little bit of rhythm and tempo, and then her bending and her straightness. So what I might start just doing, I'm going to do a circle here so you can see how tight she is. She kind of moves with her shoulders all together rather than relaxing them and allowing them to kind of mould around on the circle. Good girl. You can see how much more kind of unbalanced she is this way as well. We'll have a little walk. Ooh, good. have a little stretch, and then we will have a little canter, because the canter is the interesting bit that is really quite, hasn't been schooled at all. And although we've done lots of endurance rides, we've done hardly any canter, okay? I have mainly trotted her for the endurance rides because it's actually more efficient. She uses less energy, she can trot at the same pace she can canter, and so the last 3 rides at least, we've maybe done 5 strides of canter, if that, and they were not planned, just because, you know, uphill or something like that. So her canter work isn't the best. It never has been. Although she's sharp and buzzy sometimes, you would almost think her canter transitions would be really explosive. They're not. They're almost completely opposite. She's very much a pony that likes to pull with the front end, especially when she's a bit tight and a bit tense and a bit excited. She does just kind of trail the back end behind, and that then falls into when we do our canter transitions. Well, you'll see in a minute. She A, isn't off my aids, and B, she kind of pulls herself into them. If she's really excited and I can kind of use that to my advantage, then we can get a nice transition. But yeah, it's really difficult for her. So that's something else we're working on. But I'm going to do some canter work today, but I'm not worried about schooling the canter yet, because that sort of stuff I can actually fix in the walk and the trot. You know, you don't necessarily have to work within the pace that you're having problems with. So she's more stiff in the trot than she is in the walk, but I can make her more supple in the walk, in the trot through the walk, doing lateral work and stuff like that. So, right, we'll come back onto her better rein, because it's just easier for everybody. Let's pick up trot and get a nice trot going first. She does actually feel a little bit, I mean, she's not tired, like I said, she's very fit. She did her last endurance ride last weekend, which was our shortest one. It's only 20k, but, you know, still. I'm trying to make sure that I sit for quite a few strides in the trot to give her enough notice. Absolutely awful. I mean, we got into canter, but not very well. I'm going to come around the back of the camera just to make life a bit easier. And you can see she's quite drawn out, she's hollow. I'm not faffing around with her mouth at the moment, but it's all the things that we don't want. So I'm going to go in the same corner. Now she knows we're going to canter, we might be a little bit more susceptible to go. But see how she kind of locks her jaw, she brings her head upwards a little bit, and then she just gets hollow and hollow. And I can get her to soften and to kind of get a bit more of a bouncy canter. But that's when we get a little bit of, I can't do that yet, so I'm going to open my mouth and evade. And we don't want that. I want her to do it because she can do it. And I don't want to bloody hold her and do it, because she might be little, but she's strong. Right, let's try again. So we're going to stick to the same corner. Somehow worse. Good girl. That was slightly better. I'm going to put her on a smaller circle. You're making me tired. So in the same as in the trot and the walk, I'm trying to feel for a little bit of bend, that softness. I don't want the underside of her neck to be braced, but I know I can feel that it probably is at the moment because she's pulling against me. So I'm maybe trying to get her to go a bit too slowly, a bit too collected for what her body can actually manage. So she's having to lean on me to do that. And that's why then we fell out. Good girl. So slow the trot a little bit. Slow. We'll try again in the corner with the mounting block, and then we'll go the other way. So yeah, that's definitely one issue, but that's not about, no. Okay, we're not going to go there now. There was no way that was going to happen. Come on. It's quite warm today as well, and she does need clipping, but excuses. Good girl, slightly better. But yeah, for a reasonably experienced pony, I think you can expect the canter transitions to be better, and they're not quite anywhere near where I'd want them. Yes, we could wangle our way through a prelim, but you know, I want to do more than that. We just have a little change of rein. Like I said, I'm not worried about schooling the canter today or for the next few sessions, most likely, because they are things that there are other things to work on before that. It's nice to have a document of where we're kind of starting at. so that in hopefully even 6 weeks I can look back and go, oh, actually, we have improved, and hopefully not, oh shit, we've gotten worse. Good girl. Okay, this way is going to be, it's a lot stiffer and tighter. The transitions aren't necessarily any worse, but yeah, it's harder to get her kind of round, right diagonal would be good, round my inside leg a bit more. I'm happy that she stayed nice and chilled today, because she really wasn't happy when I rode her last week. Whoa, I think it was Thursday, whenever it was anyway. Whoa. See, we're getting a bit of anticipation, but it works in our favour. So she's still pulling from the front, you can see that, but I was happier with how she kind of went off my leg then. And again, we've got a little bit of resistance because I'm asking her to turn and bend. Come on. But you've kind of just got to ask with as much pressure as you need, but then as soon as she responds, release really quickly. Otherwise, you just get into a pulling match and then you're doing all the work and not her. So actually, she's not as straight this way. I'm going to go into the toilet again. Good girl. And here, like, I can really feel, like, if I let her, if I just leave her on a looser rein a minute and let her kind of go around the corners how she wants to, you can see she's just bent completely that way. So we'll just do another couple of canter transitions this way, and then I'll show some exercises that I like to use to deal with that problem. Come on, round you go. See, now I can't get around my inside leg now. Good. A little bit better. But yeah, the transitions feel maybe slightly better this way, whether that's because she's anticipating it a little bit more, but she's so heavy on my left hand. Like, I feel like I've got a ton of bricks there, and actually after a while, oh, steady, outside rein to slow her down. Good. After a while, it starts to hurt my shoulder, and that's when I know that I'm doing too much and she's not really helping. Oh, good girl. Okay, I think actually I'm going to leave the canter transitions there. So, as I was saying, you can see quite happily this way, if I flex her right, she's going to go right. But if I ask her to flex left, where she's really tight, you can see she wants to lead round with the left shoulder in front. She's still not bending to the left. Come on. I can't get around my inside leg. Let's chuck a circle, see if we can get it back. No, right the way, Dylan. There, good girl. So we get glimmers of it, but it's a bit of a battle, especially now the adrenaline's up and she's a bit excited with having had a canter, which is fine. She needs to learn that she needs to chill after she's had a canter anyway. But she's much tighter this side and she's much harder work. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down to walk, flick a change of rein in, just a little teardrop shape. See, I'm not using the diagonals very much today because of where the camera is. That's the main reason for that. But we're going to do a little bit of counter bending. We're just going to do it in walk because, like I said, things in the slower paces can really help further down the line as well. Good girl. So you can see as soon as I flex the left, she kind of hesitates. We're now resisting. Good girl. No, because she finds it really hard to do this. So the fence is helping me kind of keep her moving straight whilst bending to the left. So I'm trying to basically stretch out all this right side. Oh, you're sweaty. Yeah, stretching out this right side so she finds it easier to bend round to the left. Go back to true bend in the corners. So we're getting little bits of change to bend. Now obviously I don't have a fence down this line effectively, so it's a bit harder, but you know, whatever you've got, a wall, a hedge, fence line, you know, use it to your advantage and it can help you straighten them out. Because that's the thing, she's not straight at the moment. She's very much, oh, see how she's rushing as well. Oh, she's very much one-sided. And when I ask her to do something the other side, we get this. And I'm not really putting that much pressure on. I know it probably maybe looks like I am. I promise I'm not. Good girl. She just finds it really hard to get her bum under her and use her bum to carry her rather than her neck stop. And so she pulls and toes, walk on, to get out of it. No. But we're going to keep going left. Sorry, I should be sat a little bit to the inside really. Right, now we're going to go true bend. Stop being obnoxious. Good girl. So we're back to right bend. You can see how hard she finds it, and that is just at walk. And if she cannot do it in walk, there is absolutely no point in trying to do it in trot or canter, or expecting her to be able to do it. Maybe not trying, because sometimes you need to try things to see where you are. Good girl. Well done. So at the moment, all I want her to do is just bend. I don't want her quarters to come in off the track or kind of to do counter shoulder in, which, you know, she kind of is doing a little bit at the moment, but I do just want her to walk straight and just to bend, you know, still all the way through her body, but good girl. You see how much easier she finds it up the long side with the fence. We'll do one more down the next long side without the fence, and just to compare the difference. Steady. Like I said earlier as well, this coming down this side is her kind of buzzy area as well. Like if we're ever free schooling, this corner will be the one she hits and just takes off, which is fine. She doesn't do it when I'm on her, but we get this kind of little bits of tension. So I've got a line to follow. See already how much she's pulling. Walk on. So I'm just going to try and So I've got to try and control the speed and flex her. And no, we're not having an argument. No, so I give a little half halt and say, slow down. I'm closing my seat as well, so I'm trying to hold her with my seat as much as I can. Good girl. So we've got quarters in a little bit, but actually I'll take it this way because we're being a little bit fussy. All right, we'll finish on one better one on the next long side, then we'll change rein. Good girl. And as she gets better with that, I'll move into doing that kind of round the corners as well, and even on a circle, so it's almost like a big turn on the haunches round the corner or round on the circle, which is quite, you know, suppleness wise is quite a good exercise. I sometimes do the opposite as well, the Giravolta, where it's like a big leg yieldy shoulder in on a small circle. Good girl. So see, it's funny how much of a difference the fence makes, because it's backing her off, so I don't have to hang on to her as much. So we're not arguing because the resistance isn't there, because she's naturally being backed off by the fencing. Sorry, I'm tipping forward. Good girl. Okay, I'm actually going to do a little turn on the haunches, maybe. I'm going to try to. Come on. Good girl. She's, oh, that's really hard. Go on, yes, you can try it. Move the shoulders round. Not really what I was asking for. Good girl. I think we're a bit confused, but yes. Okay, I'll take that. A couple of steps. Good girl. Right, and once we get by the dog, we're going to flex to the right. So this way should be easier, although now she's a bit stuck. Good girl. And I do find after a while she gets a bit, maybe not bored, but fed up. Because like I said, this isn't her favourite thing to do. Let's keep it around the corner this way for you, because you're a bit more supple this way. Yeah, good girl. Okay, have a little break. Back to left bend. That feels a little bit softer coming around the corner. Yeah, good girl. Good. And then back to right. I think she'll probably still fight me up here because there's no fence. I think she just gets a bit, I have to hold her back from going into the long grass there. But yeah, much easier this way. So I'm trying to use my left rein as my brake a little bit. The right rein, which is now effectively my inside rein because that's where we're bending, is just asking her to stay soft and round my right leg. Then we go back to left. She is getting a bit miffed now, and I can just feel the fact I don't know how to explain it with her, because she's not naughty, but she just gets like, right, I want to run around now, and she won't, but you start to she gets stronger and stronger, and she pulls more, and the tension just starts to rise a little bit more, and I can feel she's getting to that point. And that's another reason why I'm not worried about schooling the canter at the moment, because it kind of, I don't want to say ruins the rest of the work, and she does need to learn that we have a canter and then we might do this and walk. But I think, yeah, the canter's a long way off being schooled, in my opinion, for her. Slow down. Interesting. Why are we fighting now? Right, let's get the speed first. See, she finds walking slowly very difficult. That's something else we need to do more of. wall. See, I'll just do one big half halt, and she kind of, I don't want to say overreacts, because they don't know that they're overreacting. Like, they don't do things like that on purpose, but she does kind of throw her toys out the pram a little bit sooner than she maybe should do. Good girl. Right, we'll do maybe 2 more. Let's slow the walk right down here. Okay, so I'm just closing my seat. Yeah, good girl. I want the shoulders to lift a little bit more in the slower walk. I'm trying not to hold her in front, but like I said, I want her to stay soft. So when she's pulling, for her, she's one that braces underneath and throws her head up and leans, like you can feel the bars of her mouth on the bit, because she leans the bottom of her jaw effectively into the bit. It's really strange, which is where she does this. And obviously people would go, put a flash on her, put a grackle on her. No, it's basically, you know, it's her way of communicating, and I know then quite easily that actually we're, you know, maybe it's a little bit hard for her, maybe she's getting tired, maybe she's just getting annoyed with me now, which is always a possibility. Good girl. But yeah, to strap it shut is not the answer. Good girl. Right, 1 circle. So I am feeling, although she is being a bit resistant, I do feel like the left rein has softened up a little bit. I feel like I have to do less to get her to bend, so that's good. We've loosened her up on the right side of her body so she can bend left better. Good girl. In the walk, I guarantee you, if we go back up to trot, it should hopefully be a bit better, but it's not going to stay like this. Yeah, good girl. And sometimes I probably am flexing her too much to the inside, but I kind of want to exaggerate it to an extent so that then it's easier to just put her less flexed when we need to. Good girl. You know, I wouldn't want her flexed this much if we were cantering round. It would be way too much. Good girl. But at walk, where we're trying to kind of do suppling exercises, I think it's okay. Or even with standing still. Good girl. Steady, steady. So yeah, she's finding that way difficult now. That's interesting. And that's why at this stage I like to kind of not do loads and loads of changes of rein. I like to work one side, maybe have a little long rein, a breather, and then work the other side, because they do kind of get set one way and loosen up a lot. If you're constantly changing reins when they're either inexperienced or young, I think you can just throw them off balance quite a lot. And if you've got something that loses confidence, then maybe that's not the best thing. Good girl. That's feeling softer. I can see she's still having a little chomp. That's better. Yeah, good girl. So I'm having to do much less now. She's not rushing through it either. She's still a bit speedy for what I would want her to be, but good. Have a nice long rein. Well done. She's actually really hot and sweaty. So this I would normally, I've kind of done this backwards today just to kind of prove a point's the wrong word, but to show, you're not eating it, show why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Obviously I know those things are an issue, but I haven't had them on camera, and it's nice to document it and go, oh God, do you remember when she used to do this thing? And hopefully say she won't do it anymore. But I would normally do this first. This would normally be part of my warm-up. Flexing, bending, counter bending, leg yield, shoulder in, probably not traver on her at the moment, but some giravoltas, the leg yields on a small circle, some turn on the haunches like I said, that sort of stuff, just to get her flexing and moving. I think as it's quite warm and she's actually gotten quite fluffy, I'm probably going to leave it there for today. I will walk her off, but I think she'll be kind of the main focus at the moment, purely because, like I said, the others aren't really in work. They're in little bits of work, but they'll be doing even less than her. So, I mean, I can show that if you want, but it's quite boring, I think. Oh no, has my alarm been going off? Oh, we're still recording. My alarm on my phone was going off, so I've jumped off to check it's still recording, and it is this time, so you will get a video. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there with her today. So she's really hot. I need to clip her actually. So she is fit, but it is unseasonably warm at the moment, which is fine. I'm not, you know, not moaning. So it will probably be here again next time. In the meantime, all the things that I've shown, which admittedly wasn't a lot today, we'll continue working on. Hopefully next time you see us, we'll have improved a little bit. And yeah, I mean, let me know what kind of exercises you want to see. Like I said, she's capable of doing lots of different bits and pieces. I need to get my trot poles out, and I've got some plastic guttering, and not guttering, but you know, the dressage board sort of stuff as well that we can use. If you want to see some of that sort of stuff with her next, just let me know, because we're up to do a bit of everything. She needs to do more. The others are a little bit different because they need bringing back into work slowly and properly, especially Gabby, who is 16. So once they're up to a level that I am happy with, then I'll start bringing them into this autumn training as well. But yeah, I'm really pleased actually. We had a not very nice ride the other day in the rain. We were both soaked, we were both miserable. She was wild, and she really did show why she's not a kid's pony. Like I said, she's not really naughty, but she can be just a bit sharp and a bit silly. And so, yeah, that was not fun. So I was kind of dreading doing this today, but actually she's been very good. She's been very chill, and just a bit hot and sweaty. So actually the opposite of chill. But yeah, come back next time and, you know, let me know what you want to see and we will do it. Okay, won't we? We'll see you in the next one.
Messy stressing in the morning, I gotta keep up with life. Got no regrets, I count my blessings, but I'm still getting no sleep at night. Getting out of the house, I heard an eagle in the top of a tree. I had to listen, I got a feeling it